Episode 13. I went to the bathroom, but her voice and threats kept echoing in my mind. She's right, I thought. I need to protect Dad's reputation too. I'll do anything. I decided to call Dad and request the money, but he had just finished paying for all my needs. What lie could I tell him? I thought for a moment, and then an idea struck me. Okay, I think I know what to do. I shall call my dad and tell him that I'm very sick. I know he won't resist that. Oh, I hope I'm not putting him under unnecessary stress, worrying about me. I felt a pang of pity for him, but I don't really have a choice. After bathing, I got dressed and headed to the department. Walking along the winding road through the campus, the morning air was cool and fresh, with a hint of dew on the grass. As I approached the department hall, I noticed its tall columns and large windows. The hall's entrance, with its simple carvings, welcomed me to come inside. It was already 7:48, and other students were seated, waiting for the lecturer. I opened my bag, pulled out a book, and started reading. However, the thought of the encounter between Elvis and me continued to torment my soul. Why did he leave my house? She must have had another motive. I raised my gaze, looking towards the window, and there she was, standing beside her boyfriend, Greg. He was a tall, muscular guy with a strong jawline and piercing blue eyes. His short, spiky hair was styled perfectly, and his charming smile seemed to light up the entire area. As I watched, they began walking towards the hall, their footsteps echoing through the morning silence. Greg's athletic build and confident stride drew attention from the other students, while Elvis seemed to glide effortlessly beside him, her eyes fixed on some point ahead. I felt a pang of unease as they approached, wondering what would happen next. As they looked at me and laughed, I couldn't help but wonder, has she told Greg about what happened? Oh my God, I've dug my own grave. I could have apologized and accepted her deal. Just then, Dr. Izaika walked into the class, commanding attention with her presence. She was a middle-aged woman with a kind face and a distinctive air of authority. Her dark hair was styled in a neat bob, and her wire-rimmed glasses perched on the end of her nose. She wore a crisp white blouse and a tailored black jacket, exuding an aura of professionalism and expertise. As she began to write on the board, her bright red lipstick and elegant silver necklace added a touch of warmth and personality to her overall demeanor. Dr. Izaika greeted the students warmly and began to introduce the day's topic. Good morning, everyone. Today, we'll be exploring the fascinating world of African cultures in our Socio 102 course. The Sociological Culture of Africa. She wrote the course code, Socio 102, on the board, followed by the topic, Understanding African Cultural Diversity. With a smile, she invited the students to take out their notes and get ready for the lecture. Dr. Izaika began to explain the concept of social diversity in African cultures. You see, Africa is a vast continent with over 2,000 languages and more than 3,000 ethnic groups. Each of these groups has its own unique culture, traditions, and practices. She wrote on the board, Social diversity, the coexistence of different cultures, ethnicities, and lifestyles within a society. Dr. Izaika then used an example to illustrate her point. For instance, in some African cultures, it's considered taboo for a brother to marry his sister's husband's sister. However, in other cultures, this practice is not only accepted but also encouraged. She paused for emphasis. This highlights the importance of understanding and respecting social diversity. What may be considered acceptable in one culture may be frowned upon in another. The students listened intently, taking notes and asking questions. Dr. Izaika's example had sparked a lively discussion, and the class was engaged in exploring the complexities of social diversity in African cultures. Dr. Izaika smiled. Let's take the Igbo culture, for example. In Igbo tradition, the concept of Ubuntu or oneness emphasizes the importance of community and shared identity. However, within this communal framework, there exist complex rules governing relationships, including those related to marriage. She wrote on the board, Igbo culture, an example of social diversity. To be continued. Story written by Onyitalksandstories. All right reserved. Stay tuned for more episodes.